I'm very happy to be here together with Alfonso. He's a farmeneur, he's a farmer and entrepreneur. We both have been living similar lives, I would say. No?
Yeah.
We are both married, and we have been dedicated all the past 10 years of our lives to the farms.
Mm.
You heritage a farm in Murcia, I heritage a farm in Valencia.
Yeah.
And I started cultivating citrus, and you started cultivating a lot of things there. No?
Yeah. I started with tomatoes and then changed to a lot of other things.
I'm a bit older, I'm 35, and you are 33.
33, yeah.
And you have
Two kids.
two kids, and I do have 3 kids.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna probably stay at 2.
You
Maybe
don't-
I don't follow your steps in that. Yeah.
So
I don't have coffee enough to keep that pace. Yeah.
It's true. It's a pity that we don't cultivate coffee. No?
Yeah, that would be nice, eh?
It will be very nice. So I'm very happy that you are here, and you are an expert in regenerative farming. And I'm very curious, how was your first contact with regenerative farming, and how do you see the future of regenerative farming in your local farm and maybe globally? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think it's growing a lot, no? So, and it's something that is quite common sense, and I think it resonates well with a lot of people. That is quite a practical set of exercises. Regenerative agriculture. I first started being interested in sustainable farming, or more than sustainable farming, doing something that in a way that we could keep doing farming for more generations, because it is a family farm that we've inherited for many generations, and we always had in mind that we could keep doing it that way. But we were seeing more and more clear that the way things were going, probably farming for much longer time would not be very possible, because soil was getting soil, it was getting degraded quite fast. And that's how I got interested. Okay, what are the solutions? And then first, organic farming, or this permaculture, or biodynamic, and there's many different ways or practices to do. And then I thought, okay, I'll get this from here, and then about 6 years ago, that Common Land Days Foundation came to the area, and we created the association Albelal, a couple of farmers. Then we realized that what we were doing was what's called regenerative agriculture, and we started learning first from each other, and creating that network, and then growing and learning in the journey, and adding more practices to it, the way more people were doing it.
One of the things that I love about anything that goes with farming is that any decisions that you take, you need to take them from the long-term perspective, no? And I think our generations are not very prepared to take long-term decisions. No?
Yeah, I remember when I first arrived to the farm, I remember it was winter, but then until when I decided there's a few trees I wanted to plant, it was already end of March, and I was going to plant them, and they told me, but you shouldn't do it now, you should do it next year in December. I said, do you want me to wait 9 months? I cannot wait 9 months to plant the tree. I want this tree and I want it now, and I need to plant it. And I said, yeah, it's up to you, but it's not the right time. And they were right, and it didn't work. And now I see the same. Now I do that, and I say, okay, maybe in March, I wish we would have planted this stuff here. Okay, let's plant it for next autumn, and it's totally normal. But the people that come from outside are like, what? That's a lifetime. You cannot do that. Or are you going to plant this and it's going to take 8 years to grow, but maybe you're dead, or maybe who knows what happens in 8 years. It takes a bit of time to adapt to that.
This happens to me too. At the beginning, I wanted to have citrus fruits so that the season lasts longer. No?
Mm-hmm.
And so the half of the field was damaged because of Phytophthora, and we need to replant the trees.
Yeah.
So to do it properly, you need to take out the trees and let the land calm for 1 or 2 years. Yeah. But I didn't want to wait. I mean, I need to plant them now, because I need to plant trees. I need to offer in my website more varieties. No? Yeah. So I plant them, and I didn't dedicate so much time to think where to plant them and how much of them to plant them. So now that I'm trying to fix what I did like 8 years ago, no, like I have like a lot of different sectors, like because you cannot irrigate different varieties with the same amount of water. So now I am it's a mess. But you learn how to plan yourself better, and all the plans that we are now developing are like for the long-term vision. No? And the good thing is that now that I'm 35, years are going faster. So I don't feel like 3 years perspective or 5 years perspective. Now don't resonate myself like too long.
True. I think it is. It is true. Like we are also planting some things we have the forest of Elena, that is our daughter of 2 years, and we say indeed, like maybe Elena when she's like 10, she can do a bit of a camping here, but it will take some time, and that is an area that we can irrigate a bit, so at least that forest will grow faster, because otherwise it would take much longer. Or with reforestation, also a lot of volunteers say, but so if what we want here is a forest of oak trees, we have to plant everything oak trees. Like it doesn't work like that. First you have to plant a pine tree and other things, and then when the pine tree maybe in 10 years, 20 years, then on the shade you can plant an oak tree, and then you will have an oak tree forest, but you have to wait 100 or 200 years, and this way is faster than if you plant an oak tree directly, because it's gonna die. It's not gonna stand so much sun. And they're like, what are you talking about? Like you first plant another thing, then wait 10 years to then plant something. Like it's very different from today's way of thinking. That
even if you ask for a loan to the bank or something, I say, but show me your cash flow, and somebody say, well, like a prediction of 100 years is like drawing a Excel business plan with 100 columns of the year on year. It's very funny. You also put the name of your daughters to the fields. No, I do the same. I don't know why, but when we started to cultivate olive trees, I put the farm name was Masía El Campillo, and we bought it 2 years ago when my daughter Julia was born. So we renamed it to Campillo de Julia. I don't know why we do this, but I mean I feel like it's like a mark, no? I remember that I bought this farm when my daughter's Julia was born. So you are doing the same with
a little forest that we wanted to have a bit of shade more or less near the village, and that is Elena's forest. It's not a forest yet, but hopefully it will be. And then, for example, one mountain we have, we name it after a student that did his study about how the restoration should be, and then we are still following his plan. He did it 5 years ago or 4 years ago, and we are still doing how he recommended it. And his name was Thor, so of course we call it Thor's Mountain because it sounded very epic. So that is
it's very good.
That is another name.
So how do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
I don't know. I hope doing similar things, and maybe being able to go back to have a bit of time to cultivate again a bit those tomatoes or those trees. But
we didn't expect to end up as farmers, no? Were you looking for this?
Well, I thought I would maybe end up farming or managing the land of my father. I did like farming always, but I thought, maybe doing it when I was 40 or 45 or something. Right. But then, I really wanted to try when I finished the university. And I said, well, I'll try. If it doesn't work, I can always come back later and do something else. And then, but what if it works? And it didn't work for the first couple of years, but after that it did.
It happens to me the same. It was like a train that passed and say the farm was from my grandfather, and it was like kind of abandoned during 10 years. And there was a time that my parents they couldn't afford to maintain the farm because it was loss maker. So they decided to sell the farm. And while they were trying to sell the farm, I decided to create this project. Say, okay, give me 1 year of opportunity. Maybe we can create something that could allow us to maintain the farm. And the first year was horrible, but we learned some things, and I think like farming is like a drug, no? It's like you get addicted to it, and at some point you learn a lot of things very, very fast, and we ended up like this, and yep, very happy.
Yes, I think what you said, I relate to that. That is addictive, because the things you do, then you see the result, you physically see the result, how it's built and how is that, and it's very attractive, right? And you want to do more, because then you really see it, even if it's slow, but yeah.
And it's easy to see the failures that you have done. No? So it's easy to change. Again, next year I will do it better. Or next year I will plant them better. Or you know, and also the team that we are now. We are like 40 people there in Naranjas del Carmen, and the more and more we can attract like better talent, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
You learn a lot from people. You learn a lot by doing things.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Learning by doing is definitely the best way for farming. And well, if you have a neighbor that can tell you a bit of advice so you don't make very silly mistakes, that's also very helpful. Yeah.
So thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
See you next time in La Junquera.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.